6 billion messages stored in a MySQL database that is slowly running out of room. Millions of users writing to it right now. Not tomorrow, right now. Slack had to move all of it to a completely new system without going offline. Not for a minute, not for a second. This is the hardest class of engineering problem. You can't just copy the data and switch. Users are writing new messages while you're copying the old ones. By the time you finish, the source has changed. You're always chasing a moving target. Slack originally sharded by workspace, one MySQL instance per company, small startups, tiny shards, one 50,000 person enterprise, a shard 10 times the size of anyone else's. You can't rebalance MySQL shards without downtime, so the imbalance just kept growing. Large workspaces created hot shards. Every message from 50,000 employees hitting one MySQL instance, one disk, CPU climbs to 100%. Every other company that happens to share that shard, their messages slow down too. Collateral damage from a single large customer. And the storage cost. A message from 2015 sits on the same expensive NVMe disk as a message sent this morning. Nobody reads 2015 messages. They are being stored at the same cost as live data. No tiering, no archiving. Three problems that feed each other, all requiring the same fix. The new design fixes all three problems at once. First, change the partition key, not by workspace, by channel. A busy engineering channel in a large company gets its own dedicated storage. Quiet social channels share a partition. The partition size now tracks actual activity, not company size. Second, tiered storage, 3 tiers. Hot, NVMe SSDs, sub-millisecond, messages from the last week or so. Warm, slower SSDs, under 10 milliseconds, 1 to 6 months old. Cold, object storage like S3, 6 months and beyond, accessed almost never, stored almost for free. The application never knows which tier it's talking to. A routing layer handles it transparently. The API is identical regardless of where the data lives. Phase 1 of the migration, dual write. Every new message gets written to MySQL exactly as before and simultaneously written to the new store. MySQL stays the source of truth. The new store is just catching up. Here's the critical decision. The MySQL write succeeds. The new store write fails. What do? You do not roll back MySQL. You log the failure. A retry queue picks it up asynchronously and replays it until the new store confirms. The message is never lost. The user never sees an error. The new store is eventually consistent, not immediately consistent, and that's acceptable. The only trade-off, latency goes from 100 milliseconds to 115, 15%. That's the cost of running two systems simultaneously. Dual write handles new messages, but 6 billion historical messages are still only in MySQL. Phase 2, backfill, copy everything. Throttled, the copy job slows itself down when production load is high. It doesn't compete with real users. Once backfill is complete, both systems have the same data. Phase 3, gradual cutover, one workspace at a time, starting with Slack's own employees. They're the best people to find problems. Then 1% of customers watch the metrics for a week, then 10%, then 50%, then everyone. The feature flag is not optional. It is the mechanism that makes the entire plan possible. When a workspace cuts over, their reads and writes go to the new store. If anything looks wrong, one configuration change flips them back to MySQL, 12 milliseconds. No redeployment, no incident. Without the feature flag, a problem at 10% means a rollback for everyone. With it, you roll back one workspace while the other 99% keep running on the new system. Messages must appear in the right order. That seems obvious. In a distributed system, it's actually hard. Two servers receive two messages at the exact same millisecond. Both get timestamp 170500000.123. Which one is first? The clock can't tell you. Server clocks aren't perfectly synchronized. NTP drift can be up to 100 milliseconds. In a system generating millions of messages per second, relying on wall clock time alone means messages arrive out of order regularly. Slack uses Snowflake IDs, a 64-bit integer that encodes 4 things. 41 bits of timestamp, enough for 69 years. 5 bits each for data center and machine ID. 12 bits of sequence number. 4096 unique IDs per millisecond per machine. The result? IDs that are globally unique, generated without any central coordinator and sortable by creation time. Higher ID always means later message. Two messages in the same millisecond on the same machine, the sequence counter handles it. Two machines generating IDs simultaneously, the machine ID in the integer separates them. No coordination needed, no central ID generator to become a bottleneck. Slack spent 2 years doing this. You don't have to repeat their mistakes. 4 things worth copying directly into whatever system you're designing. Design tiered storage from day one. Retrofitting it onto an existing system is what cost Slack 2 years. Use Snowflake IDs instead of auto increment. Auto increment is a single point of failure. One database generating sequential IDs. Snowflake. Every machine generates its own IDs. No coordination, still sortable. Partition by access pattern, not by user or company. Slack's original mistake was sharding by workspace. The query pattern is by channel. Match the partition to the query and never migrate anything without a feature flag. Not optional, not a nice to have. It's the escape hatch that makes large migrations survivable. Interview question. How do you migrate a live database with no downtime? Most candidates say copy the data, then switch the connection string. That is not a migration plan. That is hoping nothing goes wrong in the window between copy and switch. At 6 billion records, something will go wrong. The correct answer has 5 phases. Dual write. New data goes to both systems simultaneously. Backfill. Copy historical data, throttled background. Shadow reads. Read from both, compare results, alert on any discrepancy, but serve users from the old system. Gradual cutover. Feature flag per workspace, start with internal users. Deprecation. Once you are confident, stop writing to the old system. The phrase that impresses interviewers, rollback ready at every stage, not just at the end. After dual write, rollback is stop writing to new store. After cutover, rollback is flip the feature flag. If you can describe what rollback looks like at each phase, you're demonstrating that you've thought about failure, not just the happy path. Next, designing a notification system. What happens when Apple's push notification server is down? How does a message still get delivered? The retry logic, the queuing strategy, the fallback to SMS. Subscribe.